Point of view and time lapse going through Chicago. Got the Sears Tower in there too. Lots of traffic. Plus, 2 really tight loads made them work. And also trying to come up with more ideas on how to fix the whole extension box remodel leak issue. Thanks for your comments. All of that and more on this episode of
The Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and furry studio audience. That is Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Alright, here it is Thursday, the 15th of September. And it is about 7:26 a.m. Central Time. Just in time for rush hour traffic in Chicago. Hey Chicago, yes, it's going to be a bad morning this morning out there on the roadways. You can look for lots of backed up traffic and people being ass wagons all over the place, so watch out this morning.
Continue on 990.
I actually got to my delivery at the Walmart in Hammond, Indiana. I took a shot and got there really early. I got there at 5:07. My appointment was for 7 a.m. They actually let me in, took me early. And I was out of there by 7:07, almost exactly 2 hours from the time I arrived. My appointment was for 7 a.m. So, yeah, I would go back to that one again, not bad at all. Although, they did bust open one of the bags of seed, and so I got to clean that up when I get to the next shipper here, which I can't talk about because it's a hazmat load. All I can say is I'm picking it up in somewhere in the Chicago area, because by the time this video is out, I will be way far away from here. And it's going somewhere in the southeast. That's about all I can say. But yeah, so here we are in the middle of the rush hour, morning rush hour in good old Chicago area. Thought this would be a good time to get some good dash cam stuff. Once we get back lined up with downtown, you should be able to see the Sears Tower up there sticking out through the fog this morning. You know, it was really foggy on my way in today. So, of course, Chicago, they have you can see the subway platform over there to the left, or I guess they don't call it a subway, they call it the L here in Chicago. And then they have these local and then the express lanes, and of course, or the not express, but car-only lanes to the left there. Trucks can't be in those. I'm just trying to make it up here to I-55, and we're going to kind of head back down the other way to the Mystery City. Oh, look at these idiots up here. My gosh. Chicago drivers. The one thing I can say about Chicago drivers is they're all aggressive, and they're all going to cut you off. No one's going to let you in. So once you know that, well, that's kind of how you deal with Chicago. If you got to move over into the next lane, you just put your signal on, you give it about 3 blinks, and you start moving, because no one's going to let you in. They'll finally figure it out when the trailer's right next to them. But all Chicago drivers are aggressive as hell. They will constantly cut you off. So, as long as you know that, and you know everyone's going to be pulling ass moves in front of you, you can't get too upset about it when you know that's going to happen, right? So there you go. Alright, right after we come under this bridge, you should get a good shot of the Sears Tower up there. Once the tallest building in the world. No longer. I can't remember where the tallest one is now. I think for a while there it was in Kuala Lumpur, something like that. But that may have been surpassed. I'm sure somebody will put it down in the comments and let me know what you think. So, anyway, well, going pretty good this morning. I have to say, I was pleasantly pleased with how quickly the unload went. The fact that they took me early for a Walmart, that's pretty unusual for them to take you early, but they did, so I can't complain. And hopefully, my window for my pickup starts at 8 a.m. I am still 20 some odd miles away, and it's probably going to take, obviously, more than a half hour when you look at all the traffic up here. Oh, and now I feel like a tourist guide. And coming up on the left is the White Sox Stadium. I don't know what it's called these days. I'm sure named something. Some large corporation sponsoring this field. can kind of see the lights up there. I'll put an arrow for the top of it. You won't be able to see it well in the dash cam video, but you can see where it is, essentially. As we get a little bit closer, I'll try to throw an arrow over there. Yeah, you won't be able to see too much. Maybe I can dash in, zoom in a little bit to the left here so you can kind of tell that that's the White Sox Stadium. Yeah, like I say, I don't know what they're calling it these days. Seems like, you know, that's the new thing. I mean, you name the stadium or your field or whatever after some big sponsor, and then a lot of them keep changing over the years. So, what is this one called now? I can't see it over there. Well, there's the sign for it. I just can't read what it says. So it's something Bank Field? I don't know. They're advertising Hooters now. Yeah, I can't read that sign well enough. Something field. Okay. Oh, guaranteed rate field.
Continue on 990.
Guaranteed rate field. Well, there's a fun name. That must be, I don't know. I guess it's a bank? Who knows? Anyway, we'll let the dash cam keep rolling as we get closer to Chicago. So we're going to get right near downtown as we swing to the left, and then we start heading back down southwest. Yeah, then after I picked up and I'm back down on 294, over here to the left lane, there was a big backup and a couple of ass wagons had tangled up. And you see everyone trying to get over, and let's see, where is it? Right about right there. No, those cars are still crawling. It's that guy standing out there in those two vehicles right there. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that little tour through Chicago there. You know, I mean, if you've never driven through Chicago traffic, it's something else. Anyway, yeah, well, we did get the load delivered. The next one I picked up there in Bedford Park, Illinois is where it was. And it went down to Harrisburg, North Carolina, for a next day delivery the next morning. So it was a really tight run. So I was running my arse off. That's why I hadn't had a chance to check out all your comments and everything from the last video. These last two runs were real tight. I had to make them work. Got it to work, did deliver. This one was a hazmat load, so it paid well. It was Kathon, K-A-T-H-O-N, and you say, what's that, clutch trucker? Well, see right there. Kills bacteria and something else and can be used in oils and whatsoever. Yeah, it's right there. That's what I brought him. All right, so that was the hazmat load. It was corrosive. As soon as I delivered, I pulled outside the gate, and Mark and I were on the phone trying to come up with something else. But we just didn't want to run for real cheap, you know, and, you know, that's his whole philosophy with Whitestone's Logistics is, you know, we'll sit instead of running cheap because you're not putting as much wear and tear on the truck, you know, if you're not going to get paid for it, well, and between these two loads, I got paid pretty well, and we're going to pick up something on Monday, most likely. It could even be tomorrow. Tonight's Saturday night, by the way. the 17th. Talk more about that in a minute. But if we don't get anything else, yeah, there's no point in moving the truck for free. And this is what I kept complaining about when I worked with Turquoise. I said, the last few months at least, I said, you can't keep giving me runs that not only don't pay me, but are costing me to drive them. There's no point in that. Like I've said over and over, if you went to your job every day and like half the time when you show up to your job, they go, oh, great, we're not going to be able to pay you today. And by the way, you're going to owe us $30 for showing up. Would you do that? Would you put up with that? No. Why should we as truck drivers put up with that? And what it comes down to is, unfortunately, a lot of these guys have a new truck payment, and they got to make that. So they're willing to take the loads that they're losing money on so they can make that truck payment that week. But you can't keep doing that very long until you're so in the hole that you're out of business. What do you think? So anyway, we couldn't find anything great, so I moved up to it was about 2:30 at that point in the afternoon, and I said, look, I got to move somewhere if I'm going to be guaranteed to get a place to park. So I went a few miles up the road to the Loves in Salisbury, North Carolina. I like Salisbury steak, but I've always wondered what part of the cow is the Salisbury. I'm sure it was named after a person and not the part of the cow, right? But anyway, stayed there. Not the best place. I wasn't real thrilled with it. And so today, being Saturday, the 17th, I moved up here to the TA in Mocksville, which I like a little bit better. It's kind of small. A lot of the lot's slanted, but I knew if I got there early enough, I could get one of the flat spots near the back of the lot, near the grass for Rusty, and then I could take advantage of my Ultra credits and go grab a free shower. What do you think? Not only that, the fuel was cheaper here. It would have cost me $4.74 a gallon to fuel at that Loves. It was $4.07 a gallon here. Came up here, got the free fuel. Ever since the fuel's gone up, or not the free fuel, cheaper fuel. Ever since the fuel has gone up, I've found over the weekend, if it's gone down for over the weekend, Monday morning, it tends to shoot back up. Oh, somebody did ask me, by the way, how do I usually know when the fuel's going to go up after midnight? And I keep the app from my old fuel card with Turquoise on my phone because it does tell me if the price is going to shoot up or down after midnight. So I'll check that occasionally. So I still keep that on there. And another thing, somebody did ask me, how do you know what time zone, how do you deal with the time zone on your logs? I'm on paper logs, at least right now. I probably will end up being on an e-log sometime soon, but right now I'm on paper logs. You do your logs based on the time zone of your company. If you're an owner-operator and you have your own authority and you work out of your house or something, well, then you do it based on the time zone you live in. I do it based on the time zone of Whitestone's Logistics, which is in Ohio, which is Eastern time zone because that's technically where the company is. So all my logs are on the Eastern time zone. And I've mentioned it before in other videos. That's why I keep my little clock on my dash. I'll throw a picture up here on my Eastern time. So that way, when I'm doing my logbook, I can just glance over and know, okay, there's the time zone right now. So I do my logs correctly. That's why I also like to have a watch that changes time zones. This one does. So I always like to have the zone of the time I'm in on my watch. So like if I wake up in the morning, oh, I got to be delivering at 9, it's 7:30, I know I'm an hour away, oh, I got just enough time to get there. So I have a watch that changes time zones. That's how I deal with that. Short answer, time zone on your log, it should always be the time zone of your company, where they're at. Whitestone's Eastern time, therefore my logs are all on Eastern time, even though I live in the Mountain time zone. Okay, so here up in Mocksville, North Carolina, I did fuel up, got the cheaper fuel, and now I'm parked. I got a good, nice flat spot near the back of the lot with the grass for Rusty, and I'm just kind of killing time. Cooked up a pizza for lunch today. It's a beautiful thing. I think I'm going to have some of the spaghetti and meatballs that I bought from the Quick Star in Brooklyn, Iowa on my way out from the house. They got these great little prepared meals. Quick Star and Quick Trip with a K, by the way. Have those prepared meals. They're awesome. Did attempt the fixing my blower motor thing, tried to see if there was this resistor in my fuse panel under the dash. I pulled all that apart today, and the resistor that's there has a different plug configuration on the bottom, of course. So I couldn't swap that out, but I don't think that's the issue. So there's one more thing I can check, but I can't do it until I get another part from a Freightliner, so that'll have to wait till later in the week. Do want to thank everybody who gave all the suggestions on all the different stuff to do to try to fix my leak on my box extension, which is where my bed sticks out the back. and a lot of people had some great ideas. I've been talking with John Hallgren, and he had some ideas. I've got some ideas, and I do, for a short answer, we'll get into more of this in the next video. For the short answer right now, I do agree with a lot of people who said in the comments I should not use a bed liner because it has like more of a concrete type mixture in it, and it would crack over time, especially if that box and the back of the cab are vibrating a little bit away from each other. So I do agree with you on that. That could be a very expensive repair that ends up not working in the long run because it could still crack along that edge. A lot of people suggested just plain old roofing tar or some sort of marine sealant they used on boats and stuff. So I've looked more into that. Connie, thank you so much for suggesting. She has a friend who works on boats, or a brother, I guess it was. And she said there's something called 5200. I looked it up on Amazon. And it's a marine sealant that works underwater, that stays flexible, that is kind of like a caulk, but better. So I think we're going to utilize like a 3-pronged plan. I'm going to use some of that kind of stuff, that kind of marine grade industrial sealant. I'm going to pull that Gorilla Tape back off of there in that gap, and I'm going to just smear that gap with that crap. I'm going to continue using the wedge. That was my initial plan, was maybe get rid of that wedge because, you know, of how I had to bring it up over the cab. Well, we're not going to bring it up over the cab anymore. I ordered some more diamond plate because that's worked for the rest of the box. But we'll still have the wedge with the slope so that any rain that hits will want to fall off. In the wintertime, any snow that lands up there is going to want to slide off. So I want to keep the wedge for that. I'm going to make some alterations to the wedge. The outside triangles that drop down over the box about 1.5 inches, I'm going to use bigger boards so I can do a longer drop over the box. For one, so I can secure it a little bit better. 2, we're going to use the diamond plate. I'm not going to wrap the diamond plate all the way around the underside. It shouldn't be quite as snug a fit, but just snug enough. So that's going to work. And then it'll butt up against the cab, but we're going to fill that space, any space that's there between the top of the box and the cab and the back of that wedge. John Hallgren did find this great stuff made by a company called Steel Rubber that makes these essentially waterproof gasket things you can put in and then compress. So we'll put it against the wedge, compress it against the box, and hopefully have a watertight seal there. The sloped roof on the wedge will cover 99% of the rest of any issue we might have, and I'm going to drop down the sides a little bit more so I can secure it just that much better. That's the initial plan. Go ahead and put your comments in there, and you think if this is a good idea or a bad one. I'll look at all of them. I know I'm going to stick with the diamond plate. I know I'm going to stick with the wedge. And I think this being a kind of a 3-point plan, taking everybody's comments, kind of putting them all together, and now we're going to go with kind of a 3-tiered way to maybe solve this whole leak issue. What do you think? Now, all of this is going to have to wait, obviously, until I can get back home. And I had to order the diamond plate again today. Boy, has that stuff gone up since last year. When I ordered 2 rolls of the 4-foot wide by 8-foot long sections, I think it was about $80 a piece. It's now $140 on Amazon, and they want another $80 to deliver it to you. I got free delivery last time. So I found another website called Cuts Metal. They have a diamond plate. It might be a little bit different in color. They call it the gray, I can't even remember what they call it. Because they have a gunmetal and then a gray, like shiny gray. So it might be a little bit off, but most of it's going to be on top, where unless you're a bird, you're not going to see the top. And you'll see it on the side wedges. If not, I might even go to Home Depot. I know they have 3x3, 3-foot by 3-foot pieces. I can make the side wedge covers out of for that if I wanted to match exactly. But I know that's available locally right there in Cheyenne. So I went ahead and ordered that because I didn't know how long it was going to take. It might take up to a couple of weeks. So, you know, I'm going to be out here probably at least another couple of weeks, maybe more. And I've got to order that stuff that's going to be the gasket between the wedge and the cab. And I don't know how long that's going to take. So once I know how long all that stuff's going to take and about when it should be at my house, then I can tell Mark, all right, now you need to schedule me back to Cheyenne so I can take a few days and try to do this and do it right, hopefully, for the last time. I think by taking, and I got to order that adhesive too, that 3M. It's made by 3M, and I like 3M products. 5200 marine adhesive. I think between that, the wedge, the gasket, the diamond plate, making it longer on the sides of the box and really putting it all in place. I think this should help solve the whole problem. There you go. Hey, now that I can keep the lights on back there, Rusty's down there in his little bed right there. Rusty, look up here, buddy. Hey, Rusty. See, there he is right there. There's Rusty. Now you can see him with the lights on back there. Hi, doggy dog. How you doing? He's already had his begging strips, so see, he's all happy. You'll see him getting the begging strips here in the end of the video. Oh, and because I always like to include ass hats and ass wagons, I was just trying to leave that Loves this morning. Hey, look at this. Okay, so here I am just trying to leave the Loves here in Salisbury, North Carolina. And look, you got this parking lot parked next to this other truck on a highway, mind you. This is not like just the end of a drive. This is a continuing roadway. And he seems to be waiting for U.S. Express up there to back in and trying to park on the shoulder of this roadway. Instead of in here on the truck stop where, by the way, there are open spots, mind you. So, a whole bunch of people being ass clowns. That parking lot was waiting to try to, get over to the right shoulder there because, most parking lot drivers can't back up. There was one parked next to me, though. He backed up. He didn't hit me or anything. Just like we say about flatbedders, they generally can't back up. And Swift drivers... There's an old joke about Swift drivers and toilets. What do you get when you cross a Swift driver with a toilet? A toilet that never backs up. Well, thanks for tuning in for that one. I think we have a plan now on what we're going to do for the whole wedge and roof and all that thing. And I thank everybody again for all your suggestions. I think, like I say, we're kind of doing a combination of a few things. I think that's going to make this plan work. We can only hope. Right, Rusty? Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe, please like and comment. Get your comments within a couple of days. Sometimes takes more because I'm a working truck driver. There's Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter. That's where I usually put the Rusty stuff. And as always, if that magic YouTube fairy dust, Clutch and Rusty, out. Do you know how fast you were going? Funny enough, I was just talking to my friend about that. Well, see, we had a little fire last night, and we caught it in the nick of time, but we have a melted speedometer, so I can't really say with any kind of accuracy exactly how fast we were going. Do you really think this vehicle is safe for highway travel? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I know it doesn't look good, but, the radio still works, and it is clear as a bell. All right, he's eyeing that strip. Oh, you jumped ahead. Come on down. Come down here. You got to start from down here. Oh, and there it goes. All right, there you go. Happy dog. We have a rule you need to follow here, Rusty, if you're going to want your begging strips. Oh, happy dog, happy dog, happy dog. Should we sing it now? Because he's a begging strip dog. He's a begging strip dog. Sometimes he eats too fast and he starts to cough. He's a begging strip dog. Oh, yeah. All right, we got one more little piece for you tonight. It's been a few days since we had the begging strips, so got to make it up for you. Here you go. Oh yeah, thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. Oh, thank you. You wonder though. I see. That's what I always use for the dog voice, but maybe he sounds like, "Yo, thank you there, Mr. Darman. Oh, I appreciate that begging strip." All right, Rusty.